All right, the Detroit Lions bring in a lot of big-name defensive players at the Combine to interview, and we're going to look at that. And there's things that you can pull from these interviews to kind of see where the Lions might be thinking, or where they might be thinking of drafting some guys. So let's pull this up, and I think there's a couple guys that we'll dive into a little bit more from this list, but here it is right here. So a couple ones that just stand right out are these first 4 edges. Mike Green being probably the best one. Surprised to see him really even on there. A lot of people have him going top 15 all of a sudden. Scorton is a good one. Jack Sawyer, Josiah Stewart. So these are all really good to see that we are going to be looking at edge. Then it goes right into like another edge, but then a bunch of linebackers. So that tells us that that's an area that we're going to look that maybe we could have thought that we were in good shape, but because of some injuries and some lingering things, Derek Barnes probably not. We just released Jalen Reeves-Maybin. We might want to just get better at linebacker. And I think that's a great place to be, and I love seeing some of the big names that we have in here. Penn State, Kobe King, Barrett Carter, Clemson. Then we have a D tackle in Kenneth Grant that, I mean, we all know Kenneth Grant really well. I'm curious what happens with Kenneth Grant because I think, even being a Michigan fan, loving him, I think he's maybe overhyped because he's got a couple of really cool highlights that I think really help his case. But, you know, he could still be a late first-round guy right where the Lions are going to be. Safety, Andrew Mukuba. Andrew Mukuba. I got him pulled up because safety is something that's like, let's go. Love a little depth there because Ife Melifonwu is probably gone. And this dude's ready to hit people and get up and make plays. He's fast. Like, this is a really, really good safety. And I just think safety is something that we haven't really been focused on a lot just because Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, but we do need another. It'd be nice to have another depth piece there. And this guy could definitely do it. I mean, look at this dude. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep going through this, the interview tracker. And I think another one that stood out to me that I wasn't really prepared for was, well, first you got safety, a couple safeties. It's like, okay. And then tight end, quite a few tight ends. That's somewhat interesting. And I think because we've got Sam Laporta, we just kind of forget about that position, but I think it's so important to have, 2 really good tight ends. Then DB is still out there. Kobe Bryant, wide receiver. But one thing I didn't see was the offensive line at all. So wide receiver, even some quarterbacks, Jalen Milroe. But yeah, wide receiver, I think we draft. So anyway, you kind of look at it, it's like, oh yeah, wide receiver would be really good. And there's another linebacker that I think we got to pay attention to, and that's Jay Higgins from Iowa. What's interesting about him is his RAS score is terrible. However, he's got great film at Iowa. So if we go back here, and this is why he's kind of getting just his 40-yard dash just doesn't look quite right. He kind of runs weird, and it's like a 4.82, and you're like, oh man, what the heck? But this is the type of steal guy that you could get from Iowa that maybe doesn't have the measurables or his combine stuff isn't great. But look at this highlight here where he's just, oh, that was kind of hard to see. Hold on.
Cam Porter's carry.
He kind of comes in, goes around a couple guys, bang. It's a big-time player, big-time linebacker that this is where Brad Holmes excels, right? He doesn't just go off the combine. He's going to go off some, obviously, game tape and really, man, it keeps, like, glitching right there. But, yeah, again,
Testing. So
here's our guy right here, Jay Higgins. And it's just like this wonky run that, keep an eye on him. Okay. Back to this list here. We're going to just wrap it up here in just a second on the list. But yeah, things that you can really take away from this list are defensive players. Linebacker. I didn't quite think about that until now. So it's 28 is where the Lions are picking. Here are the picks again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love seeing that all in order. And here's the latest mock draft is that defensive end or defensive lineman, defensive end, and then a corner. So we are going defense again. And I think one of the things about our team is that the defensive side of the ball, we saw a glimpse just at the beginning of the season where Hutch is flying around, where we were all healthy. And it was like, man, we are we a good defense? And that was really exciting. That was really fun. And then Hutch goes down. Of course, everybody goes down after that. And Aleem McNeil's probably going to be gone for the first half of the year, right? So we're still going to be dealing with these injuries. But what we saw when we had a healthy defense was like, oh my gosh, Jordan Love, Packers, not scared of you at all. Whoever the quarterback is at for the Vikings next year doesn't scare you. Even the Bears don't scare me. So because of the defense, you're able to just like, man, we do not. I know we get a lot of the NFC North gets a lot of like, look how good the NFC North is. Well, it's like, well, Jared Goff's the best quarterback in the NFC North by kind of a ways, because Jordan Love had a chance to prove, man, I'm a legit quarterback, and he was like constantly kind of always hurt, and then he was making boneheaded plays when he was in there. Sam Darnold just completely folded at the end, and it was like, oh no, you're who we thought you were. And by the way, Jared Goff just fully understands that Vikings defense. So Vikings don't bother you. Bears don't bother you. I mean, I think the Lions are like 11-1 in the last 2 years in the division. So at the end of the day, our defense is anything. We can hold up against these teams, and our offense does its thing. And it's just like, we're good. We're really good. So it's just fun to see. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Remember, combines right now, free agencies in a couple of weeks. Then, of course, the draft, where we like to go live for the draft. Make sure you join us for that. That's a lot of fun, just hanging out, talking all kinds of teams, because I think the draft's so fun because you're paying attention to your team, and it's such a big deal, but also other teams and what they're doing. So it's just, make sure you join us for that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see all of you on the next one.